After high school, late 70s, early 80s, I had an opportunity to apply for the city at the time it was in the maintenance department, just out of high school, didn't really know what I was getting involved into, and we had us test over at the, now it's the warehouse for mechanical parts for the equipment out here. And when I got in there, they had this sheet and I had to figure out all these tools. And the first tool I saw, I had no idea what it was. And I'm going, what did I get myself into? So I stumbled through it and did the best I could. Well, I never got hired. Didn't think much of it. I didn't think I had a really good shot at it, but you know, you got to do it anyway. So through the years, every time I'd see it in the paper, I would apply, and it was about 4 or 5 times, different positions here at the Platte. And the last time it was a maintenance job came up again, so I applied, and I finally got past the initial interview part, and then I got to come in and talk with supervisors, and it just all kind of snowballed, and next thing I know, I had a phone call from, now is Amy Hall, which it was Al, and asked me if I wanted a job, and I was really shocked, and I was happy. It was something that lasted a long time, and it finally comes true. So you just got to have patience and keep trying at it.
A long road for Dave Benson, now 7 years working as maintenance worker at the Platte Generating Station, a plant the size of a small city with a variety of challenges. Everything from
feed pumps, welding jobs, pipes, pumps, the packing starts leaking, water spray, you know, you go fix that. You have a chlorinator leak, we have to go do that. But every day it's always something that comes up.
Dave's job is anything but simple. The heavy machinery, the limitless problems they present, and the constant drain on his time when it comes to fabricating and welding repair.
And sometimes we have to go to the water park to fix pumps there when they break down. Not very often, but I've been involved in a couple of them there. And there's 4 of us here out of 10 that are welders. We had to be certified through the city to be a welder. So there's 4 of us here that take care of all the welding here at Platte, Burdick, or out at the well fields.
So how did Dave Benson end up here? A complicated and challenging career stemming from a simple beginning we can all relate to in one way or another.
You know, it starts back when you're a kid. You're helping your dad out in the garage doing things, tinkering, lawnmowers, cars, and it just kind of keeps growing on you, and you just, everybody has a thing they like to do, and if you have a niche on tearing things apart and remembering how to put it all back together, you know, maintenance is neat, and you get to do a variety of jobs. It's not the same thing every day, and that's what I like about the maintenance. Every day is different.
Besides welding and creative ingenuity, he also possesses another critical component which ensures success on the job.
Multitasking, because there's a lot of times you'll start on a job, something comes up and you get pulled off and you got to go work on another project. So you've got to be flexible, and you got to remember you will get back to it eventually, and so you got to remember how you take things apart. There's some equipment out here that's really big, and there's 6 or 7 maintenance guys will tackle a project like that, and it takes a month. It could be down. So you really got to kind of remember what's going on.
An element of this job that is quickly forgotten and most often taken for granted are the hours Dave and the rest of his crew work. When we are all at home, warm in our beds, Dave and his crew are on the job.
We're on call 24/7. Our hours on maintenance, we work 7 to 3:30, Monday through Friday, but we're on call any time. And the last recent one I can remember real good is a couple years ago we had the ice storm, and NPPD line fell across our power line to the city, and that we lost power. So we went black, and so we got called out here. We had to work on the turbine, and so it doesn't matter what the weather's doing, you've got to come out. Snow, last winter on snow, each maintenance guy, Mike picks, you've got this snowstorm coming up, Another worker and I, we got stuck on Christmas. So every 8 hours we had to come out here for 3 days because it never quit snowing. We had to maintain the roads so the operators could have shift change and the new crew would come in. So we had to keep the roads open. And so sometimes it's kind of challenging, but that's just part of the job.
We all take for granted that we flip a switch and our electrical needs are met. Dave will be the first person to remind you otherwise.
The operators work 24/7. They're here Christmas time, New Year's, Easter, it doesn't matter. There's always somebody here at the plant working, and we all take electricity for granted. We're just thankful we have equipment that can stay running very well.
Aside from the long hours, the learning curve for Dave was directly into the fire, as he recalls.
When I got hired, we had they're called pulverizers, and that's what crushes coal down. We had a shaft break on that, and I had no idea what this was. And then when I went to see that equipment and I saw how big that shaft was that broke, it just unbelievable. Something that big can break so easy. And that took over about 2 months to get from tear down to put back together, and that's 4 to 6 guys working on this project every day. It's a very slow process. There's a lot of calibrations you got to go in to set your bearings, your clearances. On that project alone, I learned an awful lot. It was like, this is big.
And the biggest equipment challenges?
The pulverizers, the boiler feed pumps. When I came out here, how big the equipment was just, you just don't realize how big things are until you come out into a power plant and how everything works. So every day's kind of neat. It's a good experience.
But something Dave never anticipated was the family he was about to become part of.
We have a very good crew in the maintenance field. We all get along real well, and when something happens, we all know it, and we get the job done. And the operators, they're all real nice, and we all kind of help each other out. So it's kind of like a big family.
And a quick morning reminder before you turn on that coffee maker.
In the mornings when you wake up, you turn on the light, you turn on your coffee machine. You just take electricity for granted. And here in Grand Island, we're just fortunate that we supply electricity, the city-owned power plant. I mean, it makes our electricity affordable. And so just remember that every morning when you get up.
Try not to forget people like Dave Benson are out there ensuring us that morning cup of coffee and everything else that uses electricity. Without people like Dave and the crew he works with, our lives will quickly come to a standstill. So take that next morning cup of coffee and toast the hardworking men and women at the Platte Generating Station. We are very grateful that all of you are on the job.